Hello and welcome, everybody, to Margdarshak 2. I am Dishi, your host of the day, and would like to start the proceeding by requesting first timer students to welcome the chief guest, Mr. Jyotiraditya Sindhya, and Mr. Yashish Dahiya by presenting them with a bouquet. May I now request Mr. Somani to deliver the welcome address.
The chief guest of the day, Honorable Srimant Jyotiraditya Sindhya, our guest of honor, Mr. Yashish Dahiya, distinguished members on the dais, Mr. Rajiv Dubey, Mr. Ajay Garg, distinguished guests and students. It's my privilege to welcome all of you on this morning of awards distribution of Margdarshak 2.0. When we embarked upon the first edition of Margdarshak Awards, we were very, very unsure. But then, as they say, one by one, the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle started falling in place. And despite COVID, we had a fair participation from the HR fraternity, and the eventual outcome was very, very good. As we all know, the objective of Margdarshak Awards is very, very noble. I don't want to be repetitive about it, but the fact is that an institute is known more by its students and its alumni, and the role of the faculty who keep working silently and tirelessly in shaping the careers of these students is often discounted. And now that I'm running a business school myself, who would know it better than me? Having said that, the initial lot of faculty at IIM Ahmedabad were extremely tall in their stature. They were visionaries, they were institution builders, and they need to be recognized. With this ethos, we started Margdarshak Awards, which makes them unique. These awards are unique not only because of the thought behind the awards, but also because they are process driven. I wish to categorically state that these awards are not bestowed, they are actually won by a very fair selection process which has been standardized and streamlined by KPMG. We started First Timer Business School in 2007 and now have a 15-year-old history. These 15 years have been full of challenges and struggles, but now we have stabilized. Sir, 15 years ago, when you laid the foundation of First Timer Business School, we just had 30 students. Today, the number has swelled close to 500. We have excellent faculty, very good placements, and an intake of intelligent and resilient students of nearly 300 every year, some of whom you can see over here. I am often asked what is our succession plan at First Timer. First Timer, as you know, was created by Friends of 73 of IIM Ahmedabad. And I'm glad to inform all of you here today from this platform that First Timer, as a part of continuation of the legacy, we are passing on the baton to the class of 96 of IIM Ahmedabad. Thus, the IMA legacy continues. We have here amongst us Mr. Ajay Garg, who's the prime mover of the class of 96, seated over here. So is Mr. Yashish Daya. He too is from the class of 96 of IMA. Mr. Ajay Garg and his batchmates have vowed to take first timer to the next level. Lastly, before we start the awards, I would like to use this opportunity to express my deep sense of gratitude to Srimad Jyotiraditya Scindia for having agreed to be here today despite his busy schedule. I have seen him work and work from close quarters. Very methodical, systematic, relentless in his follow up, with nothing escaping his attention. And along with that, so empathetic and so helpful. I, for one, am a living example of the same. And I have no hesitation in stating this today from this platform that whenever I've been down in the dumps, you have come forward with your helping hand. And that I am standing here today on this platform. A large credit for that goes to you, sir. So, your presence today has taken these awards to a new level. And for that, Team Margdarshak shall eternally be grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Somani. May I now invite Ms. Shivani from KPMG to explain the award process.
Good morning, everyone. Margdarshak Awards 2022 is organized by First Timer to commemorate the leading HR professionals. There were several entries that were received across 10 categories. 33 entries were shortlisted. The shortlisting process was divided into 2 rounds. There was interim jury, wherein the scores were provided from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Then there was an advisory panel which went through the entries and made them final shortlists. This was then presented to the final jury who ranked it from high to low, and thereby we have the winners today. Congratulations to all those who win today. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shivani. We now begin the award distribution. We will start with the category of Young Turk and move towards the Hall of Fame. Before I announce the awards, I would like to present to you all a message from Mr. K.V. Kamath, the senior most alumni amongst us today.
The First Year Margdarshak Awards are a humble tribute to the outstanding faculty at IMA who worked at the inception of this institution and in a way made it what it is today. Our heartfelt thanks to these faculty members who shaped us. I also must thank the team at KPMG, our advisory council, and the jury members for working on and selecting this list of people who are to be recognized today. My congratulations to all the winners. I must also compliment Gautam Kaul and Anil Somani for all the effort they have put in. It's truly incredible hard work that has gone into getting these awards up and ready for the celebrations today. Lastly, I must apologize for not being there in person, as I have some commitments which I could not change around, and I will cheer you from a distance as all the winners receive these awards. Once again, all good wishes.
The award in the category of Young Turk of the Year is instituted in the memory of Professor Kamala Chaudhary, the first woman professor of management education in India. It goes to Ms. Pragya Singh, Associate Director HR, PepsiCo Global Business Services India.
Ms. Pragya Singh has been instrumental in fostering a culture of inclusion by enhancing the employee resource groups and by building awareness. ERGs have driven a strong sense of community and helped the organization achieve a retention rate of 87% in the year of Great Resignation versus the industry at 75%. Both men and women have similar organizational health scores of 78%, with inclusion index being at 80%. Survey on equal opportunity for people with diverse backgrounds has drawn a 76% favorable response. These results, significantly better than the industry benchmarks, have directly and indirectly contributed to business growth and stabilizing of operations.
Hearty congratulations, Ms. Singh. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here. It's a great pleasure to get this award from Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia. Pretty much the reason why I came down here to take the award. So thank you so much for that. The reason for getting this award is even more special. The fact that I got to work on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a cause which is very, very close to my heart. And when I joined PepsiCo, I thought that this is an FMCG organization and probably will not be investing as much in diversity and inclusion because FMCG organizations are primarily sales and driven by the market conditions. But I was so pleasantly surprised with PepsiCo's visionary goal of having 50% diversity in management roles by the year 2025. And when the HR head of PepsiCo, Avantika Nigam, she gave me the responsibility to lead this agenda. I had actually never, ever led diversity, equity, and inclusion before, but this was a very exciting experience, and we've been market leaders in driving this. We are at 45% diversity, while most of our competitors would be nowhere close. I think 30% is the best that they can get in this era. And all of this happened in last 2 years, which were COVID years. And we had started a setup in Hyderabad. We started with 0 to 2,500 people when we were struck with COVID. So this was an exciting time. And thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Singh. Our next category of award is Talent Acquisition and Retention in the memory of Professor Suresh C. Kuchal, who has always referred to Kuchal Sahab affectionately by his students. The award goes to Mr. Girish Menon, Head HR Swiggy.
Mr. Girish Menon pioneered several HR processes and MNC startups, managing stakeholders in matrix organizations. Mr. Menon anchored several strategic initiatives, driving key people practices, talent management strategies, and ODA interventions across multiple locations and across sections of employees. These initiatives have given the organization an opportunity to think harder about what really matters, as opposed to what was considered important. These measures have also ensured that employees will work all 5 days of the week from their base location. This translates into the employees working out of 487 cities in 27 states and 4 UTs across the country.
Thank you so much. Such an honor to receive the award from you, sir. This award I dedicated to my team. I did very less to achieve this. My team really worked hard. More importantly, I'm happy that we really changed the way India eats. Now, I guess people do joke when I meet a lot of folks that I'm saving a lot of marriages because food is getting delivered on time. So you should thank a few lakh delivery partners out there. And happy that we're able to provide employment to so many people and really make a positive impact to economy in a small way. So thank you so much for acknowledging us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menon. We now move on to the next category, which is Disruptive of the Year, instituted in the memory of Professor Pulin Garg. A very apt matching of the category and the faculty. This award goes to Miss Priyanka Kapoor, HR Leader, ZS Associates India.
Ms. Priyanka Kapoor has been instrumental in setting up the learning platform for an organization with a headcount of 14,000 employees. It has been named Ikigai of Coaching at ZS. Ms. Priyanka's first step was to define the now, near, far of coaching and re-establish the core purpose for which the coaching team existed. The Ikigai of Coaching at ZS showcased a need to move from what they are good at, coaching junior levels, towards what does ZS need. Coaching to be a strategic partner, support talent integration, performance and retention, and predict people trend.
Thank you, everyone. Extremely stoked to be here today amongst all you guys, and it's an immense pleasure and honor to be sharing the stage with you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Sindhia, for taking out the time and being there for us today. The talent landscape in India, I feel, is changing, immensely. And we, within organizations, I think the talent leaders have to think very, very differently. For me, being the disruptor or enabling disruptive thinking in HR simply also means that you need to have the courage to execute on your idea and the right kind of ecosystem, I think, for a woman leader like me, both back home as well as within the organization, to really translate that. So I'm very, very thankful to the jury, to the folks here, very, very thankful to my folks back home, my parents, my supportive partner, the mature 6-year-old at my home, my 6-year-old son, Kabir, and a wonderful, wonderful organization and team that really supports looking at talent very, very differently in India today. Thank you so very much. Immensely honored once again to be receiving this today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Kapoor. We now move to the category of corporate social responsibility, instituted in the memory of Professor Ishwar Dayal, who is still remembered for his pipe and tobacco. The award goes to Ms. Aradhana Lal, Senior Vice President, Sustainability and ESG, and Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Senior Vice President, Lemon Tree Hotels. How nice that there are 2 joint winners in this category.
Under the stewardship of Ms. Aradhana Lal and Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Messrs Lemon Tree Hotel journey of hiring employees with special needs in 2007. Over the years, it has hired individuals with specific needs and collaboratively created an accessible and growth-oriented work environment for them. This includes individuals with physical disabilities, speech-hearing impairment, orthopedically handicapped, acid survivors, low vision and intellectual and development disability, Down syndrome, slow learner, mild MR, IDD, and autism.
Very nice to be here. I'm ex-alumni of IMA, as you know, Anilji. So it's a proud moment to be part of this fraternity as well today. And thank you all for being here, and thank you, Jyotiraditya. The work that Rajesh and I do at Lemon Tree Hotels is all around inclusion of people who normally don't get an opportunity to get a job. These are people who have disability, or they could be people from economically and socially marginalized backgrounds, people whose education is incomplete, people who never got a chance, really. And our company, by the way, completed 20 years just a few days ago, September. And this inclusion work has been going on for 15, so it's very much part of our culture. And I invite any one of you, and all of you, in fact, to take a look at how people who are deaf, people who are autistic, people who have Down syndrome, acid survivors, dwarfs, abandoned children and orphans, all different sort of backgrounds are working in our teams in front office, food and beverage, housekeeping, engineering. So it's really well integrated. And we are happy to share how we got here with anybody, any organization who would like to know. Rajesh, something?
I'll just say thank you so much for recognizing our efforts. My colleague Aradhana have already spoken about this. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well done and congratulations, Ms. Lal and Mr. Kumar. Our next award is in the category Employee Engagement in the memory of Professor Vasant L. Mote, who is always remembered for his passion for motorbikes. And the winner is Mr. Yuvraj Srivastav, CHRO, Make My Trip.
With a background of 5 years in the armed forces, Mr. Yuvraj Srivastava has initiated several measures for employee engagement in his HR efforts, namely holiday experts, certified travel agents, Back to Future program, employee resource groups to some. Mr. Srivastava has been instrumental in establishing a strong feedback and communication culture to identify, build, manage, and provide the necessary impetus for professional growth. Mr. Srivastava believes that post-pandemic, newer hybrid work models will come into play with some degree of support for work-from-home employees. This will greatly contribute to the reduction of uncertainty and lack of trust around work-from-home issues.
Good morning, everyone. And I think we were not prepared that we need to make a speech here. So we are not very much geared up for this. Thank you so much, Mr. Sandhya. I think that family, you, your father, I think we have seen both of you right from our childhood. And I think an award from you is an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. My founder, Deep and Rajesh, have also conveyed their thanks to you and regards. So on behalf of Make My Trip, I think that we are 20 years old organization, which has been, now it's called as a evolved startup. Has always championed employee engagement right since beginning. And I think that what we realized that if the founders and owners of the company are closer to employees, I think it goes great and it goes deeply in terms of creating a culture in the organization wherein people can be engaged. Last 2-3 years have been very, very serious for us, and you being a part of the similar fraternity and industry, you understand how travel had been affected. All this during these 3 years, the way we have been really close to the employees, the way we have taken care of, we have not let the travel get impacted with our passion and with the technology, has all been only because of the Make My Trip employees and the workforce. Congratulations to the team back home for winning this award on behalf of Fostima. Thanks to Fostima, Mr. Somani, for really conceptualizing this great award. And I must say that, when you talk about your teachers, and I think that shows the type of value and ethics the organization is going to have, and institution is going to have. All the students from Fostima, you guys, bless you all. Have a great career, and we from the corporate fraternity are always there to help you and see that you guys do well in your career. Best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Hearty congratulations, Mr. Srivastav. We now move to the category of diversity and inclusion. This category is in the memory of Professor S.K. Bhattacharya, whom everybody remembers for